Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and make sure to like the video if you enjoy it and don't forget to subscribe. So today we're actually looking at some reprints. These are cards which have been featured within Duel Links in the past and are now being kind of released in this set called Arena of Sanctuary. Just to make them easier, they could have been on like a promotional thing in the past. They could have been at like a character event that you might have missed. Some of these are found in other ways which are a little bit more accessible, and so you might have already got them and think, oh great, you know, I've got like 10 of these now. Whatever you think of that, you can always leave that comment down below. So the first card is Karakuri Soldier MDL 236 Nisamu. It's an Earth attribute machine, level 4, with 1400 attack and 200 defense. This card must attack if able. When this face-up attack position card on the field is selected as an attack target, you can change it to defense position. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Karakuri monster from your deck in face-up attack position. So the whole point of this card is it acts a bit like a foot soldier for your deck. It helps to search out some of your other level 4 or lower Karakuris, which might be more beneficial for you at the time. It also triggers its own effect to actually change its battle position, which could protect your life points. And if you have one of the Karakuri boss monsters, one of them is able to actually search another card. Another one is actually able to let you just draw a card. So you're actually continually maintaining that advantage. So I can understand why they wanted the reprint for this one. The next card is Watch Dragonfly. This is the light attribute thunder type monster. It's a level 2 with 900 attack and 100 defense. The effect is if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, whether that be by battle or by card effect, you can special summon one Wat monster from your deck. This card is not, I would say, as good as Wat Cobra in the point that, you know, that's continually searching for cards, but essentially if you draw into this and you don't have your Wat Cobra, you can just set this, pass. Hopefully your opponent won't defeat you in the next turn. They run over this, you get your Wat Cobra, and then you're able to proceed with your plays. I do see this is kind of a staple within the deck, even if it doesn't really do much in and of itself. The next card is Trimid Hunter. It's an Earth attribute rock type level 3 monster with 1400 attack and 1100 defense. The effect is if a field spell is face up on the field, you can normal summon one rock type monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can target one Trimid field spell card in your field zone, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, activate one Trimid field spell card from your deck with a different name. This is a quick effect. So this card is really annoying when you have to face up against it for a couple of reasons. Firstly, this allows you an additional normal summon, providing you have the field spell card. That means, you know, you're able to actually divert the advantage quite easily for field presence. It also has the benefit of being able to kind of slow down your response, because if you are trying to go over this card with one of the field spells and then they decide, oh, I'm going to switch out that one for this one. One of them, I think, actually protects you from battle destruction once. So that can be really annoying just to get over. And also the big boss monster actually benefits from when the field spells are sent to the graveyard. If you've got different ones in the graveyard, that means it can become up to 4000 attack. This is very disruptive and a key component to how the deck likes to play. Trimid King Golem is one of those so-called field spells that I was mentioning before. This one provides all rock-type monsters on the field with an additional 500 attack. If a Trimid monster you control battles, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If this face-up card in your field zone is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Trimid monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Trimid King Golem once per turn. This card is really annoying to deal with for a couple of reasons. Firstly, all of those Trimid monsters are gaining 500 attack. They might not seem that powerful to begin with, but you know, as they kind of level up their attack, they become more difficult to defeat. The ability to kind of shut down all of your effects during the battle phase means that if you've only got battle traps on the field, there's not much of anything you can do about it. And also the thing is, even if you get rid of this card, you're actually providing your opponent with the ability to summon a monster, which just gives them overall more field presence. The next card is Squirrel. This is a light attribute thunder type monster. It's a level 3 with 700 attack and 100 defense. Its effect is this card can attack twice during each battle phase. If this card battles, negate the effects of the monster it battled after damage calculation, including in the graveyard. Okay, so this card, this is one of those monsters that doesn't actually have a direct attack function to it, which you could argue is kind of worse for what it can do. Although saying that if its intention is to destroy monsters and shut down their effects, it's sometimes better, you know, I can understand why it wouldn't have that effect. The ability to attack twice is decent, provided you can actually boost this card up. If you pair it with something like Power of the Guardians, that's actually quite useful, as you can shut down your opponent's ability to use those effects. Even if you're taking battle damage, using Power of the Guardian twice means you'll each turn from that one card, you'll get giving this monster 1,000 additional attack points. Within a couple of turns, even if they have a 2,000 attack monster or a 2,000 defense monster, you can easily overrun those cards. The benefit as well is this also negates within the graveyard, so if your opponent is trying to do anything, you can shut this down. And there are also other boosting cards that you can use, which are just as good to support this card. The next card is Trimid Dancer. This is an Earth attribute rock type level 3 monster with 600 attack and 1,900 defense. The effect is, once per turn you can target one Trimid card in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, all rock type monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can target one Trimid field spell card in your field zone, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, activate one Trimid field spell card from your deck with a different name, and this is a quick effect. So this card is probably just as, if not more annoying than Hunter is, because what it does is it provides the attack and defense boost, and actually you're able to recover your Trimid cards. You might have gone through a few of them, and this helps to replenish your deck. The kind of downside of this card is, you know, it doesn't have an immediately powerful stat lineup. The defense is decent because if you can actually just use the effect once, you've got 2,400 defensive monster. But if your opponent has any way of outing that, you can actually kind of eliminate and pick apart the Trimid archetype very easily. Basically what you want to do is you want to banish their cards, you banish their field spells, you want to banish their monsters, so they don't have ways of interacting. They all rely on effects and boosts from using the graveyard or their field spells, or even some of the monsters. So by actually sending them away from the graveyard straight to the banish pile, that's how you eliminate them. The second part of the effect is standardized. Being able to replace out your Trimid field spells means you can actually get the benefits of the other field spells as and when you need them. It being a quick effect means you can respond on your opponent's turn as well. The next card is Karakuri Showdown Castle. It's a field spell card with the effect when a face-up Karakuri monster you control selects an opponent's face-up monster as an attack target, you can change the target's battle position. When this face-up card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can select one level 4 or higher Karakuri monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So the whole point of this is, again, it's to do with battle position manipulation. If your opponent has a monster, they're probably going to put that in the stat lineup that has the higher stat line. So if they have higher attack, they'll leave it in attack mode, and if you put it into defense, not only are you able to kind of manipulate that, so you can actually just run over their card, but potentially you're able to actually draw into further cards and actually support yourself a little bit better. I would say the other benefit is even if your opponent knows what you're doing and actually tries to out this card, if you've got any of your synchro monsters that have been properly summoned and have ended up in your graveyard, you can just bring those back. And of course, they have their own effects, which are even better than this card. So either way, it's win-win for you. The next card is called Runaway Karakuri. This is a quick play spell card with the effect select one face-up Karakuri monster on the field. Until the end phase, it gains 1000 attack, but its effects are negated. I don't see that as a big problem, considering that some of your Karakuri monsters have 1400 or more attack points. They're going to become decent-sized monsters, even if you're negating their effects. It's the effect of that monster. You're likely to have other effects to protect you or back row to protect you. So even shutting down one of your monsters might be okay. It doesn't have any other stipulations to it. Of course, this attack stat is only for until the end phase of that turn, but that's enough if it's even just to protect your card for that round. Trimid Fortress is the final field spell card, and it's the final card in the reprints. Its effect is all rock-type monsters on the field gain 500 defense. Trimid monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this face-up card in the field zone is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Trimid monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Trimid Fortress once per turn. So this card helps to actually boost the defense stats of your Trimid monsters. So for example, Dancer would become 2400. Traditionally, if you're able to do that, that means likelihood is your opponent isn't going to be able to out that immediately within the turn. And then actually, as you get up to your turn, then you're able to use the effects of some of your cards to actually continue to boost up your monsters and kind of overwhelm your opponent. The other part of this effect is, the graveyard effect to actually recover a Trimid. It can be quite decent if you're into a longer duel and you need to recover some of your resources. Although, as I've said before, it's very similar and very easy to out the Trimids. The Valkyrie monsters are all specialized in kind of dealing with this archetype very easily. So what do you think of the cards as reprints? Are there anything you were particularly excited to get? Was there anything you were disappointed by? And what do you think of the standard of the reprints? Did you have more than the copies necessary anyway? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.